One really nice feature that Quicken has is the ability to keep track of the values of your properties. Whether it's a rental property or maybe it's just your own personal real estate, you want to know what that property is worth, what the value of it is, and you also want to know how much equity you have in the property, and you have to set up accounts in Quicken in order to do this. Over on the left pane here, first of all, in the accounts, you have your banking accounts, which include obviously your bank accounts, credit cards, etc. And then below, we have our property and debt. Under property and debt, let's take a look at our personal home, which I just updated recently the other day, so I'm not going to do it now. But you would go up here and check for updated estimate, or his estimate as Zillow calls it. There you'd get yours and updated if it did change. What Quicken does is creates a transfer back into the same account, and you can tell that by the brackets that are around it. Rather than it's being a transfer to another account like a credit card or a bank to or from a bank, or an item that was purchased as a certain category at a store or something else. So in this case, it's a transfer back into the same account and listed as a market adjustment, and it puts the adjustment in there and updates the value of the property. Now, in order to find out the equity, you have to look at the loans that are against this property. In this case, we have a personal home loan first position, and the second position is a HELOC on this home. So let's take a look at our calculator. We'll bring that up, and we're going to take a look at our personal home. New value was $206,700, which is the value of the property. And this is going to, of course, fluctuate with the market. Real estate historically goes up in value, unlike, of course, a car that goes down as you drive it right off the lot. So we're going to take away the first position loan. And then also our equity line. So that leaves us with about $112,000 in equity, give or take a little. So it's always good to keep track of this. Quicken uses these numbers in order to calculate how much equity is in your properties. So if you do own rental properties, you want to scroll down to the rental property. Rentals are set up the same way as the personal accounts. You start with your checking, your savings, holding accounts, credit cards, etc. And then down below, here we have our property and debt for rental properties. So let's glance at this one here. This was recently updated as well. Same thing, the value of the property is $104,200. If you scroll down, you'll see there's leverage on this property. It looks like it's about $42,816. So if need be, we could take some equity out of this property. We don't usually take that much out. We like to try to stick to around 70%. Most lenders will do 70 to 80%. Some might do higher, but it makes us nervous. I like to stick to around 70% or less. So there's still some in here to work with if needed. The nice thing about rental properties is with some lenders, you can put together a portfolio of 3, 4, or even more properties, and you can put them all under one equity line. That gives you access to the funds of those properties without having to sell them, or access to the value of the properties that you have in it without having to sell the property. And then you can use those funds to either do repairs on the unit or buy another property. Okay, so let's go down and update one of these. Let's take a look at the property here. Looks like last time I updated this one was in October of 2023. I try to do it every 6 months or so, but things get in the way. It doesn't always happen. So we're going to check for an updated Zestimate. And you see it's only increased about maybe $1,000 or so. But I'm going to go ahead and do this for this video so you can see it. So I'm going to update the property value and watch what happens, how quickly Quicken inserts the market adjustment transaction. So we see here, Quicken entered the transaction again. As we already discussed, it's in brackets, so that means it's a transfer back into the same account. And when you do this, you're going to get a message that pops up. And it's warning you that you are recording a transaction or transfer back into the same account. Save it anyway. So this is Quicken's way of telling you it thinks you made a mistake and recheck it. But in this case, I want to do this. I want to put a transfer back into the same account. It helps me keep track of the value of the property. So I'm going to say yes here. If you scroll down through here, you'll see there is a mortgage on this unit, but it's only $16,000. So we do have a lot of equity in this property. My husband and I are about ready to do a refi on this one. So we're getting ready to do that in the next few months. Going to pay down some debt, and hopefully there's enough left over to purchase another property. Because properties in Akron, Ohio are pretty cheap. One thing I wanted to point out, some of you may have noticed we have a lot of credit card debt on some of these cards, but this is not bad debt. This isn't going to Target or Walmart to make impulse purchases. We use our cards for purchasing rental properties. We do balance transfers to these cards because they have high limits, and we use the cash that goes into our bank account. So we purchase a property, we renovate it, we put a tenant in it, then we refi it, and we take the money out and we pay the cards down. So our cards do go up and down. It can mess with our credit score sometimes. It'll go from 830 to 835 down to 750 overnight, and then as soon as we pay them off, it goes back up again. And that's the way credit scores work. Okay, so let's update one more unit. So I'm going to select this one. So the last time this was updated was a couple years ago. So let's check for an updated Zestimate. Click the button here. So we see this property has increased in value up to $65,200. So I'm going to update this, and then we'll see how Quicken enters this new transaction on the current date for market adjustment transfer back into the same account, and it puts the increase amount or decrease as it does in times. Okay, I'm going to check one more. I'm going to select this one. Looks like the last time this was done was maybe 6 to 8 months ago. But we'll check for the updated Zestimate anyway. And it looks like it pretty much stayed the same, so I'm not going to bother with this one. But this is how you keep track of the equity that's in your rental or your personal properties. It helps you get control of your finances and understand where your money is going and get confident in your finances. Right now, Quicken is offering a money-back guarantee on their products. Please check out my affiliate link below to see what Quicken is offering right now. It helps with the channel, and you can get a great price on a great Quicken product. And if you have any ideas for upcoming videos that you would like to see, please comment down below. So until next time, keep getting confident in your finances.